Greetings all, Devious Monkey here. I'm in one of my favorite spots. As always, I thought this might be the best place for me to do this because it's bright enough without being in the direct sunlight, and despite the fact that it's a holiday weekend and I did have to wait a little bit for some of the people to leave, I can get this done really quick. So today, as promised, I wanted to show you my Sony a6600 Cine Rig Build out. Took me a while to put this all together and literally build it and put it together in the way that it made most sense to work for me and the way that I move and film and so on and so forth. So I'm just gonna stop blathering on this way and show you what I'm talking about. So this is my a6600. This is my Sony a6600 Cine Rig Build out using mostly small rig parts and Indie Pro Tools stuff for the power, plus the ever-present and wonderful Atomos Ninja. And there's a couple other odd pieces in here, but we'll go over that. So I'm just gonna give you a quick overview first. So here we go. Okay, so real quick, because there are more people coming, I'm going to show you that for the most part, this is the a6600. I am using the Sigma 16mm 1.4. Both of those, absolutely amazing. The 6600 has quickly become my favorite camera and my go-to camera for filming. The lens also is going to be a staple. I have it all built or tucked into a small rig a6600 camera cage. And then, as you can see, start getting into the small parts. There's a NATO rail mount, a handle that connects to that. I also have a small rig monitor mount that goes into a hot shoe, or I mean a cold shoe, whatever. There's another cold shoe back here as well. Then I have the small rig universal handles, and as you can see, you can adjust them anywhere they need to go, and you can also switch sides so that they make the most sense for you. The other one's on this side. Now I have all that on a Camvate razor, I don't know what you call it. It's basically just a quick plate release with a riser. So all this stuff can be adjusted. You can slide this all up and down. Then I have those on small rig, 15mm carbon fiber, 8-inch rods. Then I have, and this is all the Indie Pro Power stuff. So I have an Indie Pro Power gold mount base plate. As you can see, they come around here. I have a built-in, I got it with the built-in cable that goes up to power the a6600 with the FZ battery. And then I added a D-tap cable that goes around and comes all the way up to the back of the Atomos to power that. Now, because I'm filming with my GoPro, I actually have my, well, as you can see, this on here, and then the Rode receivers on the top. But normally, I have the Rode receiver right here, and then I have this cable that plugs into that, and that goes down into the camera. Now, if you get way in here, you can also see that I have an HDMI cable grip, so to speak, and I got new cables because my other one was all busted up. So that goes in here like that, and I routed it through the tightening nuts for the handle, so it also holds it in place. And then I have a Peak Design, I don't know what, it's like a mini camera mount so that you can put these little Peak Design holders on here for the strap. And that is the one thing that I forgot to bring with me because I was carrying too much shit. So I also put a strap, and then you can see that connects to the cage under there, and that just gives me that much more to hold on to. Then I bought these little cable wraps and have everything neatly tucked away in there. And this way I can keep this open so I can still see information that I need to see on the Sony camera, but the main screen that I look through is on the Atomos Ninja. Now, the Ninja I also have on a small rig cage, and you can see it comes through here. I have another HDMI cable holder, so it holds that in place, and then that's what comes down through here and holds the other end on that. I have all that mounted on a quick plate, that goes to my Manfrotto fluid head, which you can see right there. Hello.
Hi.
And then that all goes to a Manfrotto tripod. Now the other part that I have in here, it's another DTAP Indy Pro that can go into the top of the battery here. You can see the battery has a little rubber gasket that holds it in place. This goes down through, it gives you another DTAP port, but more importantly on the other side, it gives you a USB outlet there. And then that is what I'm going to use to go through there, and I'll just put it on. Oh, absolutely. Thank you for asking, though.
Are you sure?
Yes, that's fine. So then I will plug out of that, and this is where I usually put the GoPro receiver, or the Rode Wireless Go receiver, so it'll go there, and I'll show you when I'm done talking so that you can see it. And then that way I can just use the Rode cable, the USB-C cable, that'll plug into that, and then it'll go into the receiver, and then I'll have pretty much unlimited power for that as well. Now, all in all, a pretty sweet setup, and it has been wonderful. You'd think that it would be heavy, but all this stuff is really light, and it makes it heavy enough that when I'm walking around, I'm not getting those little micro jitters from just holding the camera like I used to. So the plan is that I'm gonna have this camera set up in this. Now there's no way I'm taking all this apart every time I need to, you know, run and gun. So I went this the other day and I ordered a Sony ZV-1. Yes, the little vlogger's camera, so they say. And I have been watching dozens of videos about it that show you all the little nuances and all the little things about it that are cool and all the things that aren't that great. And the things that aren't that great are things that can easily be overcome by things that I normally do. For instance, the fact that they put the thread mount to put anything on there, like a plate, or to screw it into any kind of a tripod-like device. If you put anything there, that means you can't open the battery door without unscrewing whatever you've put in there. That is easily eliminated because every camera that I buy, including this GoPro, I buy a small rig cage for, either a cage or an L bracket or something like that. So I already bought a small rig cage for that ZV-1, and what that does is it will cradle the camera, still allow me to access the battery door without taking the cage off, but it gives me a number of threaded holes off to the side that I can put the Peak Design, that little square Arca plate that I have on pretty much everything. I can put that on there, and then I can mount that easily to my Zune Crane M2 or the Sony Bluetooth grip or the switch pod or any of the other tripod monopod things that I have for it. And that's what I plan on doing with that. I also got a 256 gigabyte card because I'm going to be shooting in 4K. I can use the Rode Wireless Go for that camera if I don't want to use the internal mic, although a lot of the footage that I've been seeing shows that that internal mic is pretty awesome. And considering it's going to be the run and gunner, even with that cage on there, it'll still slip into a pocket because the cage is pretty minimal as far as, like, you know, it's not like a gigantic cinema cage like I have here with all the handles and all that stuff built on. It's literally just protection, and so that I can get past that hole, not being able to open the battery door or get the card out with, you know, like a quick plate on it. And that's about it. So the nice thing about this whole setup here is that this totally powers everything. So it powers the camera, it powers the Ninja, it will power the Rode Wireless Go receiver if I need it to. Plus I can, you know, I still have on this cable another DTAP port and another USB port as well. So I essentially will have nearly unlimited power. Now, I decided to go with the bigger battery, this PD95A, and that's just because it was 40 bucks cheaper than the Micro series, and I wanted to see how big it was and if it was going to be a hindrance or so on and so forth. It isn't. I have added the Micro batteries to my wish list, so You never know, I might get them for Christmas, or I'll eventually just go out and buy another one because I don't want to have just one battery. You know how I am. I always like to have double of whatever I need so that, you know, I can be powering one or charging one while I'm using the other one for power. Now, the thing about this is that if you look here on the side, you can see the little LED things that show how much power I have left. How you doing? And right now I only have 1 bar left. Now, keep in mind, I got this stuff on Wednesday, probably Wednesday early afternoon. I plugged it in, I charged it for 2 hours, even though it showed that it was at 4 LEDs, like the full amount, but I charged it anyways for like 2.5 hours. And I have been using it every day since then. It's Sunday right now. Now, I haven't gone out and filmed, you know, a Hollywood blockbuster, as I'm fond of saying, because I don't shoot that kind of stuff, but I have shot with this whole setup, and I've been playing with it and testing things and doing stuff every single day since then. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 5 days that I have gone filming every day with this setup on a single charge of this battery. So I'm here to tell you, hell yeah, Indie Pro Tools, and it's only a 95 watt-hour battery. So it isn't the bigger one. I didn't get the 150 or any like 200, you know, something watts. I did not feel the need to have that. Now, because I'm not traveling for work, I'm not flying anymore. I'm actually not even on the road anymore, but one of the reasons that I decided to get a smaller battery is because I can see taking this somewhere with me if I have to fly. I mean, if I have to fly anywhere, I'm gonna have to fly to Nashville. So when I go back to Nashville, this time, hopefully not like right before there's a gigantic tornado and it's not pouring down rain, but I can go through Nashville and I can film with this rig, and I don't have to worry about not being allowed on the plane or giving up my like $500 battery because it's too big to fly. I think even the 190 watt batteries, I think you might be able to squeak by. It just depends on the TSA agent, but I didn't want to dick around with that. And I know that if I fly with this 95 watt, that I can get on a plane with no problem anywhere I want to go. And you know, I can have one on there, plus I have 2 chargers for it. I did buy a charger that charges that battery up in about 2.5, it says 2.5 hours. There's one that came with it. I don't know, it was like a special, it came for free, and it takes like 5 hours. So we're talking 3 hours or 5 hours. 5 hours is a lot. I know that's an overnight thing, but I wanted one that charges quicker. Now, the thing about the charger that I got, the one that charges in 2.5 hours, so in a sense, a quick charger, it gets hot. Hot enough that it worried me that I did not want to leave it laying on the floor, on the carpet. So I unraveled everything, and you know, I have my charging stations all set up. So it is actually sitting on the other side of the room, not on the charging table side, but it's sitting on top of my photo printer. And I figure, I mean, if it gets hot enough to catch that printer on fire, I've got bigger problems. So, you know, it gets very warm, but, and it doesn't give me any indication, like the battery doesn't show that, okay, it's at this point, it's at this point, it's at this point. You have to keep pushing the button to see where it's at. How I knew it was done was that the charger got cool. So it had gotten full charge, and to keep it from overcharging, it basically shuts down and doesn't send any more current to the battery. And I could feel that the charger was cool to the touch. So I knew after 2 hours, 2.5 hours, that it was completely charged and I was good to go. Now, I have that one LED left, so after I'm done filming all this crap, I'm gonna go home and I'll plug it in for the night because I'm not gonna be filming anything else. I'm just gonna be editing this video to show you this whole setup. Now, can I say that I'm thrilled? Hell yeah. You know how excited I was to get all this stuff and put it together and make this Cine Rig. And I've been having a blast going all over the place and filming. You saw some of the stuff I did. I mean, I've literally been all over Virginia Beach filming and having a great time doing it. And you know, this rig, it's just so awesome. It feels so cool. Now, again, normally I have a strap. I forgot to bring it, but you'll see me in some behind the scenes footage throughout the rest of time now of how I use that. So basically it's just the thicker Peak Design strap, and it pops into those 2 little quick releases, and then I can push the whole rig away so that it cinches up to me, and then plant my elbows in And now it makes everything so sturdy that it's not even funny. Now the other thing is that if I'm filming, I can also grab this and pull it into myself so that this is against my chest, and that gives me another point of contact if I need. So I'm gonna set the GoPro down and I'm gonna basically walk around here and show how I use this damn thing. So hold on a second. Chances of that falling, slim to none. Ha ha. Okay. So just do the old quick release here. And now I can grab this, and I have set this up so that I slid the handle a little bit more forward so you can see that I can get my hand in there, and I got a finger in the front to hold it all. Or you can grab it by the handles, of course. And what I was talking about was putting this into your chest. So now you can move around like this and it keeps it super sturdy. But you don't have to worry about that, because even if you were holding it out here, you aren't gonna get any micro jitters because it's heavy enough that, you know, it's not that light, normal small camera thing that you deal with. I guess that's kind of the whole point of building a cinema rig, so that you can, you know, fix the little micro amateur type things. So you got a good grip here on all sides. If you need to, you can put it into your chest. You can angle all these screens so that you can see whatever it is you need to see, and you are good to go. Mostly I go like this though. I usually put my elbows into my love handles, and then it takes some of the burden off my shoulders. And one thing I found, especially when I have the strap on and I'm pushing the strap on, and I'm pushing this forward, is that I tend to really tense up, and I don't need to. And sometimes I could see pictures of myself and my arms are really tense and stuff because I'm holding it. You don't need to do that. Basically, you just put your elbows into your midsection here, you keep a decent grip on the handles, and it just takes care of itself. And if you're holding this like this, you can get those low angles. And because it's heavy, again, I mean, you can just put a couple of fingers on if you need to, but I put my whole hand on there. And it's nice and smooth. Real pro stuff, man. Okay, I'm gonna set this back down. So you can see how easy that is. The way I have this all set up is just very simple. It's very sturdy. Everything is rock solid. All you gotta do is use your little small rig tool that has all the different size hex heads and Phillips heads and flat heads and so on and so forth. Tighten all this shit down. And you don't have to like gorilla grip tighten it down, because it all holds. That's the thing I love about small rig, is everything holds really well. And I will say this setup here, this quick release plate thing with the riser, the only reason that I got Camvate rather than small rig is that the small rig one still isn't available. It was also over 2 times as expensive, and right now I just wanted to get this together and use it, but the other reason, they just didn't have it. So this is the cinema rig as it is now. I don't see really changing this all that much, because it's perfect. It's perfect for me. It's perfect for what I want to do. The only thing I got to do eventually is get another battery, but I wanted to test this all out and see how it worked and see how long everything lasted, and I'm incredibly, incredibly happy with it all. It all works really well. It all goes together really well. It's very seamless, very easy to get all these parts pretty much between Amazon, Small Rig, and B&H Photo. You know, you can kind of get everything. You can get most of the stuff from Amazon if that's what you want to do, but for the Small Rig stuff, most of the times I usually just order it straight from Small Rig, and then all the other stuff like power and especially memory cards and things like that, that stuff I only get from B&H. I do not buy memory cards or batteries from Amazon, because I don't like gray market shit. And I have gotten stung on that before. I bought an incredibly expensive Panasonic battery for my professional camera. This was years ago. And it was almost $200. And it was gray market and it was dead in a month. But it was dead beyond the time that I was allowed to return it. So I got screwed. So I don't do that anymore. I pay full price, whatever the hell it is, from B&H for peace of mind. Okay, enough of that. Enough of all this stuff. So this is it. This is the a6600. An Indie Pro Tool and Small Rig and Atomos Ninja Cine Rig Build out for a Sony a6600. I think it looks pretty cool. It is really cool. And it all works like a champ. So that's it. That's what I wanted to show you. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, obviously I took the time, I built in the description each part that's on here, and I put a link to where you can get it. All the small rig stuff will be from Small Rig, but everything else will be from wherever else, but mostly B&H and Small Rig and some Amazon if I can't find it anywhere else. But do the research, go find it wherever you want, take your chances. You can get what you get, where you get it, and hopefully you'll be happy. But like I said, any questions whatsoever or any comments, just leave them down below. Thanks for joining me as always. Like, subscribe, and all that shit. And remember, kids, forward and up.